Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor. Now, if you guys are listening or watching and listening on the YouTube side, please press on the subscribe button, the like button, and drop a comment to help support the podcast. And if you guys are listening on the podcast platform side, like Apple and Spotify, please leave us a rating and add us to your library for any past, present, and future episodes and all too as well. Please mind me. Just came back from out east and all too as well, and as you know, getting a little chilly and snowy over there and all too as well, so I may sound a little nasally through this episode and all too as well, this recording, however you want to call it and all. But look at the screen and all. This is crazy development on the podcast and all too as well. Now talking about soccer on the podcast and all. Not no MLS soccer or Premier League soccer, which I would agree I should probably get myself a little bit more into. But I don't know. I've been saying that for years and all too as well. But look at the screen. The Haitian national football team. Yeah, football with a U. Real sure. We'll have some, we'll do some American football a little down the road on this recording and all. But as of right now, we got the Haitian soccer team, football team, at least now qualifying for the International World Cup in 2026 for the first time in 51 years and all too as well. What a crazy ass development I get to show off on the podcast and all too as well. The team, they beat Nicaragua, as you can see there on the screen and all, in a 2-0 win and all. We had, please, I may butcher the name and all, but okay, let me look it up real quick. Well, Don Dedson and all too as well. I'm trying to get his first name and don't mind me going through it real quick. I gotta get my notes up. Yep, we're on a pause level. But Luesuis, I hope I didn't butcher it, but Luesuis Don Denson scored the first goal in that game, and I think they have the minutes there. My eyes are shot a little bit, but I think it was in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, I think 9-minute mark, he got that first goal and all too as well. They had a great opportunity, I think like 4 or 5 minutes and all too as well, with another player called Pierrot, ironically, name of my uncle, and all too as well. That's his last name. I'm not trying to butcher the first name with that one and all too as well, but missed the opportunity there. But as I mentioned with Detson and all, was able to scurry through the middle part of the field and all, and was able to hit the right side of the goal and all too as well. I think he had the goalie on the left side a bit more, at least, with the commotion a little bit in there, in the what's it called there, basically in the penalty box area. If not the penalty box area, the kick area. I'm gonna have to get these terms right going forward and all too as well. But got that first goal there, and then what am I seeing here? Yeah, close to the 45-minute mark. I think with extra time, they really pick up their second goal by Ruben Providence. There you go, simpler name that I can pronounce at least. But able to go up 2-0 there and basically clear themselves. As you can see, they finished it out with a 2-0 win. Also cleared themselves with some points, I believe, in that scenario too as well. They still needed some others to lose or tie at least, just with the point situation. I think Jamaica was in the scenario of that. I think Honduras too as well was in the scenario that I think I don't think Haiti ended up beating up Honduras. Not beating up, they beat them like 1-0, but ended up beating Honduras to get to this situation with Nicaragua and winning this game and all, and then essentially qualifying for the World Cup and all too as well, which is I just find very exciting and all too as well, because I do plan to go to at least one of these games in whatever site that they'll be choosing. And all, lucky enough, they'll be in North America, not entirely in the U.S. I believe some sites will be in Canada, the east side of Canada, like Toronto. Excuse me. And I think the west side with like Edmonton or something. I'm not going to quote myself too much on that side, but definitely in Toronto, which I would love for the Haitian team to be on that side and all. But they'll have some sites in Mexico too as well throughout the World Cup, which will be starting in June, and then December 5th, which is like 2 days away, because I'm recording on I'm looking at the time. December 3rd today at I should be looking at the computer, but I don't be doing that, around 9:30. I'm recording today and all too as well. So in a couple days there'll be the announcement of the group teams, at least. I believe it'd be 43 teams, and I think the next 11 teams, I think it's a 54 team format. So the 43 teams already qualified, including your Haitian team and all too as well. And there'll be another I haven't gotten that playoff thing down yet and all, but there'll be some inter tournament, I should say, at least and all, and the other 11 teams I believe, will be qualifying to make it all 54 and all. That tournament doesn't happen until March, I believe, April of next year, at least not too. So I really wanted to mention how the Haitian team got through to the World Cup after 51 years of never getting into it as well. I did plan on going to a World Cup game and all, because it's going to be all over the place. Obviously I live in Atlanta, as I probably mentioned and how I show it out on the podcast at least and all too as well. But now I'm excited to go and travel somewhere else to catch this team and all too as well. It won't be the first time I've gone to a Haitian soccer or football, however you want to label it, game at least and all too as well. I went to a game in Frisco back in 21 for one of the CONCACAF games, I believe. I believe it was a CONCACAF thing. I don't know if it was like their major tournament, but one of their CONCACAF tournaments, and I ended up beating Martinique, I think 2-0 or 1-0. I can get the photo to prove it. That's for another time at least. No, but no, definitely before I go on to, what the Patriots are getting themselves into and how the Celtics are rolling, at least I definitely wanted to mention the Haitian team making it, the night before my birthday too as well. They pulled this off, and on the same day that they gained their independence in 1804, the Battle of, I'm going to butcher this too as well, and I'm going to have to get my shit better. But on the same day, the Battle of Vatiers. Yep, I butchered it and all too as well. But just a cool coincidence of a team, of a country that's gone through some peril and all too as well. You're talking to a Haitian American that's been dying to go to Haiti and all. I got some, panicked parents that kind of hesitate for me going over there too as well. And ironically, my mom's going over there for the next 3 months and all too as well. But a little personal. It's got a little personal and all. But again, it's like, it's a cool connection, especially for someone who started a podcast and all too as well. First started with the Celtics thing, and then the Red Sox did their thing making the playoffs and all. Now I'm about to get into the Patriots and another win to lead the AFC and all too as well. So another cool thing to add to the sports podcast that I've been building up and all, to have the Haitian team make a grand tournament, and a grand tournament they haven't been in since the 1970s and all too. Was when my parents are like 9-10 years old around the last time they made the World Cup and all too as well. So it's just a cool connection, especially something that I thought would be cool to add to the podcast and all too as well. Something that I would have my eyes on in a sports way going forward, at least on too as well, especially when we hit 2026 and all too as well. So definitely want to throw that out and all. Once again, December 5th on Friday at 12 o'clock in Washington, D.C., ironically too as well, that they'll be announcing the group stages for whoever, group stages of the teams that they'll be playing amongst each other to see who gets themselves free. I think it'll be 2 teams that probably come out from each stage, at least and all. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I believe it's 2 teams that come out of it and all too as well, and they get into the knockout round and all that fun stuff and all involving the tournament and all. A 2-month tournament that, happens from June and July, a month and a half maybe. I think the championship game is probably like the 19th or 20th of July and all too as well. I'm not saying that the Haitian team has a great chance of winning it and all, but it'd be very cool to actually see this team on the grand stage, honestly too as well. The FIFA is a little bit suspect in some instances and all too. You can go ahead and read about it or Google it. Trust me, I ain't lying about it. But again, still a cool thing from a country that's dealing with some peril and political, economic ways at least and all. Cool to have like some type of joy come from it, for having the national team make the World Cup for the first time in 51 years and all too as well. So quick little blurb, or thing for the Haitian team and all too as well. When we get back to what I usually be getting myself into when we're on these podcast platforms and all too as well. And look what we got next. Oh yeah, a little new thing I'm doing after I switch to every segment to remind the listeners or the viewers at least on please subscribe to our podcast to help support it and all. Drop a like, drop a comment and all too as well. And if you guys are listening on the podcast side, please help us support the podcast by leaving us a rating or dropping or adding us to your library and getting ready for past, present, and future episodes. I have to get better with these middle marketing type stuff too as well. But going next into the NFL and all American football and all too as well, we got the New England Patriots at 11-2 and all too as well. We're about to enter the third quarter of the season and all. This is week 13 that we just finished, and now week 14, the Patriots are finally going into a bye, at least in all too as well. But since I haven't been around in a couple weeks at least, so before I get into the Giants game and all, we'll go back to last week's game against the Bengals, which was a little bit trippy and all too as well. Drake May didn't look all that great to begin that game and all too as well, but they sort of found a way to battle through it and all too as well. I don't remember the gist of it too much because I remember this last game a bit more clearly because, of course, I'm recording on a Wednesday and it happened on Monday, at least and all too as well. But basically gunning themselves out of a win against Cincinnati and all too as well. I'm trying to remember who really stood out in that game. Marcus Jones, because he kind of stood out again this week, at least not against the Giants, but had himself a pick six against Joe Flacco and all too as well. He had some big injuries, not gonna lie, with Will Campbell. It ended up being a sprained MCL and all. He's been put on the IR. Is going to be out over the next 4 weeks, now 3 weeks at this point and all, because it was the first week of them being out. Then the other rookie there on the left side of the offensive line, and Jared Wilson got himself hurt too as well, honestly. So he's out. He's going to be out. Not in. I don't think it's an indefinite amount of time. There's no indefinite amount of time. I should say that for sure. But there's no. I think it's a week to week thing. If not, maybe 2 to 3 weeks he's out or something like that too as well. I think his situation was an ankle and all too as well. So that's the reason why. I feel like that's. I want to say that's the reason why. But then the Patriots had an opportunity at the goal line to get themselves in like 3 to 4 times because the Bengals had themselves a penalty too as well. And they were unable to get in there. I kind of assumed it's because of the injuries and all. Then looking back at it, Will Campbell was definitely there, at least on two as well. So that is a stretch of what they've been dealing with and all. Now I go into this Giants game. Whoops, I didn't put myself in. Do not disturb real quick. I'm a mess right now. But yeah, going into this game against the Giants, at least I kind of saw the issues with their red zone offense again, at least and all too as well. Not able to power it in certain scenarios, especially on the third and short scenarios, at least and all. They're not able to punch in then, at least and all too as well. But you got to see Drake May show off that arm a little bit more in the red zone to a throw to Kayshon Boutte and all. Was able to find Trayvon Henderson, but kind of missed it. And there's another throw I feel like no one talks about more that he kind of missed Hunter Henry in the end zone too. It was over the bad throw. Could have been a pick, if I'm being honest too as well. Honestly, but almost showed out to get his 300 yards. Kind of got it, but there was a penalty with a Hunter Henry touchdown catch and all too. So they brought that back. It only ended up getting like 282 for his passing yards. And still can't get a 300-yard passing game at least and all too as well. But do I have his stats up? I don't have his stats up. But definitely threw over 70% again, at least on the two touchdowns, I should say too as well. Did avoid the interceptions, at least even though I feel like it got a little lucky because he missed Hunter Henry. He was pretty accurate. Had a dope, deep pass on the left side of the field, right on the left side of the field at least. So I think he made a little move, in the pocket a little bit more, just to create a little bit more space for himself. I found Kyle Williams deep for like a 40+ yard touchdown, at least and all too as well. Damn accurate on the left side of the end zone too as well, at least on their side of what they were playing at least. But looked awesome. The best thing about against the Giants at least, because how they played against the Bengals and their rush defense was not great. Definitely stepped up big time in this game at least and all. Durden had a crazy expletive that I just won't repeat at least and all. Maybe one of these days I audio clip some of these stuff and put it on the podcast at least. I had a great clip of his energy and all once the Patriots went up 17-0 and all. Christian Ellis had 2 big hits, one against Jackson Dart and then one against a former Patriot, Gunnar Olszewski, and all too as well. Looks like Gunnar kind of dealt with the concussion issue after that incident. Jackson Dart was able to keep on going and all too as well. Maybe you can claim that was more illegal than the Gunnar Olszewski hit, but the Jackson Dart hit looked a little bit more crazy at least and all too as well. But still, defense really stepped up big time and all too as well. Marcus Jones, like I mentioned with the Bengals, had that pick six, ended up having himself a punt return for a touchdown too as well. That really got things going, and I think really gave the Pats the edge going forward because they only scored 3 points in the second half and all too as well. I think Andy Borregales missed a kick in the third quarter, so maybe they missed out on some points. Oh, obviously they missed out on some points there, but maybe it would have helped with the separation and all. Because the way I look at it, if you take out the punt return and the way the Giants were able to score 15 points going into the fourth quarter, at least it could have been a closer game than what it was. But thanks to that punt return and that extra field goal, kind of kept the separation large enough at least, where there's no question of them winning the football game at least and all too as well. But really just look at their defense and how they played. Guys without Millen Williams in the middle of their D line, without I'm thinking about Tonga too as well, honestly. How dominant they look too as well. I get that the Giants are a 2-10 team, so I'm not trying to take too much from it, at least and all too as well. But just impressed in how good they looked going into a bye week too as well. I do like the narrative of going to a bye week. Some teams look a little sluggish going into it. They looked primed and ready to go into that bye week strong and come out after that bye week against the Buffalo Bills, which would happen week 15 and all too as well. Could basically decide the division with the win there too as well, especially if the Bills lose this next Sunday against the Bengals, which is kind of crazy to think about honestly too as well. Joe Burrow having a chance to come back and win the division honestly too as well. But yeah, I'll probably get into the NFL stuff too as well. But definitely want to give a shout out to the Patriots again, man. 11-2, leaders of the AFC and all too as well. I think the Denver Broncos are 10-2 and all too as well. Now since I'm doing that, let's just get into the NFL playoff picture real quick. I changed the orientation of things, so kind of look weird, right? I will kind of feel weird, I should say, at least enough. Give me a moment. Bring up the standings real quick of the current NFL playoff picture. We'll go with the AFC first whenever this decides to load up, and I'll too as well. Timing. Okay, I'm going to just go. There we go. I was going to just base it off memory, at least not too as well. But let's move it here. Let's do the AFC first. Like I said, we got the Pats at 11-2, leading the AFC and all too as well. It's crazy what that NFC looks like too as well. Honestly, who's number one there? But I'll get there. But number two, we got the Broncos and all. They'll have Las Vegas this week and all too as well. It should be an interesting game because of how anemic they looked against the Raiders. I'm just trying to organize stuff. But how anemic they looked, their offense anemic they looked against the Raiders in the Thursday night game a couple weeks back at least. And also, it should be an interesting game. I expect the Broncos to win, so I'm not gonna be getting too crazy with a take like that. But the Jaguars are facing the Colts. I'm feeling the Colts are going to be losing out for the rest of the season and all too as well. But we'll see. We got the Jaguars at home and all. I have the Jaguars winning that game. Got the Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 4. Basically, two teams that are battling for the division and all too as well. No Aaron Rodgers, so I guess I'll give the Ravens the edge there too as well. But Steelers always play the Ravens tough at least, so it should be an interesting close game. Chargers versus the Eagles and all. Herbert's dealing with a left wrist injury and all too as well. Just had surgery on Monday, so big question if he's playing. The game is on Monday night, so an extra day may help him get ready to play that game and all too as well. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles hater, so obviously I would choose the Chargers in that situation and all. But I think it's a closer game than what it is. Eagles just lost against the Bears and all, where the Bears just ran all over them and all too as well. The Chargers do have a what's it called there? I'm trying to think of something cool to say, but crud, I don't know. But the way they start their offense, trying to think of something. But the way they start their offense, they usually lead to the running game and all, and then base it off, and then use Justin Herbert after. In my opinion, at least, and all, just based on Jim Harbaugh's history of running an offense, at least, and all too as well. And that could be a recipe to run over the Eagles and all too as well. They do have a pass rush. I don't want to knock the Eagles defense and all, but their running defense looked interesting against the Bears and all. I'm curious if the Chargers can do the same thing and all. So that would be my way they can get the edge over them and all too as well. The offense the Eagles offense doesn't look great. I don't think things are changing with that either too as well, honestly. But that's how I feel about that game with the Chargers at number 5. Got the Colts, like I said, dipping down at number 6 and all. And like I said, they'll be facing the Jaguars and all too as well. I just don't see it continuing because of the Daniel Jones effect of him dealing with some sort of fractured fibula. Obviously, it's not a complete fractured fibula, but there's something fractured in his fibula apparently and all too as well. I feel like it has affected this play, and I think it's going to affect this play going forward. And I am not a fan of Shane Steichen because of the way he's finished seasons over the last 2 seasons and all too as well. So I just feel like they're on their way down. If Jonathan Taylor can have some type of Herculean type of wave at least now for the next last quarter of the season. Maybe I'll give maybe they have a chance, but I'm really questioning them right now. And a team I'm shocked to see them at number 7 of the Bills, and they got the Bengals coming to their Orchard Park at least, but to their stadium at least, too as well. I'm not confident with them too as well. They just signed Darius Slay, who just got released by the Pittsburgh Steelers, or they picked him off waivers at least, too as well. So I'm not confident in their defense at all going into this game and all. Bengals looked good against the Ravens too as well, who haven't looked great defensively either, and all too as well. Whatever. So we got the Tech, and then we got the on the bubble at least. Now we got the Texans facing the Chiefs in a interesting game too as well. I would give the Texans the edge because of their defense at least and all, but their offense doesn't give you much scare, so it could be a close game for Mahomes to take at least and all. Then we got the Dolphins there. Out of all these teams, I'm taking the Bengals seriously at number 12 right now because they have an open shot for the division. Both teams that are leading the division are 6-6. They're 4-8. They've shown that last year Joe Burrow showed that he can win every game to finish the season at least and all. Ravens and Steelers have not been playing well at all this year too as well. So the way the Bills have been playing, even though coming off of a loss. Josh Allen, same type of guy, wins big games late in seasons and all. They guarantee his team making the playoffs and also. I'm so interested how this game will play out and all too. Is also big games, at least in the AFC side, of for the towards the what's it called there. Towards who makes the playoffs at least on too as well. I'm just rushing through everything I guess tonight too as well. But number one in the NFC right now we got the Chicago Bears at least and all at 9-3. Is that correct? Yeah, 9-3. Just like I said, just beat the Eagles on Thursday, Friday, Black Friday against the Eagles at least, and really just dominated running the football against them too as well. The Eagles, I wouldn't say their defense dominated the Eagles' offense at least, and I just think the Eagles' offense is in some type of struggle peril. I know the answer. Some people don't want to believe me about their quarterback and all too as well, but it is what it is at least and all too as well. But very interesting where they are. They're gonna have a tough game against the Packers at Lambeau and all. We'll see, because I feel, I get the hate that the Patriots get for their schedule at least and all. I feel like the Bears are more a proponent of it too as well, because most of these games that they've been down in these football games. And I feel like it's a little different with the Patriots because they haven't been down in these games at least and all, even though the schedule is very beneficial towards them and all too as well. But I feel like some type of reality hits the Bears just based on the way they played. Even in the Eagles game too as well, they're down in that game and they're able to come back and all. I don't know if they can get away with that with the Packers, who are probably the best defense they faced since they've been on this winning streak that they've been on and all too as well. So, but we'll see. Things are interesting in the NFL because we get to the number 2 team in the Rams. Should be number 1 because they faced the Panthers this past week, but they lost, and that's what they're probably sitting at number 2 and all too as well. Maybe it's just a bad game and all. I've crowned them as the best team in the NFC and all too as well, with others at least and all too as well. If they're 9-3, they're 9-2 and just have a bad game, they're able to bounce back against the Cardinals and all. They'll be just fine and all, and that's how I feel moving forward about them. Just a bad loss, nothing big. I don't want to take anything too much into it. The team that's interesting right here, the Eagles at 8-4. I mentioned that they would be facing the Chargers on Monday night and all too as well. Give the Chargers the edge on. If Herbert plays, I'll give the Chargers the edge at least and all too as well. I still wouldn't sleep on the Chargers. If I think it's Trey Lance is the backup and all too as well, but I just don't trust the Eagles offense. They put 21 points to game last week and all too as well. They put 21 quick points against the Cowboys, I think in the first quarter of that game, if not in the early stretches of the second quarter, and didn't score any type of points. Cowboys gave them, were shitting themselves on the foot so many times at least, or shooting themselves in the foot so many times. I don't know what I said. I think, yeah. But again, Eagles weren't able to take advantage of any of those times, and the Cowboys were able to come back and win that game. I think 24-20, 24-21 on a Brandon Arby kick to end the game at least on two as well. So I got no trust in the Eagles and all. Too as well. I think it is a sign of weakness that they picked up Jalen Phillips throughout through the trade deadline. Cool move, but shows that they shows I feel like Howard Roseman wouldn't do that move if they were weak in that position. Last year they made no type of move like that because of how strong they were throughout the season, and also I do think it's a little shakiness that's coming from the Eagles at least. They got a team that's coming up in the NFC East at least. I'll probably be bringing it up when I roll down the rest of the standings in the NFC at least. But we got the Bucks, number 4, who've been tailing but are getting healthy apparently too as well. Honestly, I think Mike Evans has entered the practice window and all too as well. Chris Godwin played, Bucky Irvin played last week and all too as well, and big in their win and all against who they face. I'm sleeping on who they faced, because I think now they're facing the Saints, at least not two as well. But yeah, big win for them, having Bucky Irvin back and all two. So if I can remember the game, I'll probably blur it out and all two as well. Number 5. Man, that's how crazy the NFC is. We got the Seahawks at 9-3 at number 5, at least, and all two as well. But got themselves out of a game. I forgot who they faced too, but Sam Darnold didn't look all that great. The score would tell you that they won dominantly, but I wasn't impressed on what I saw through the highlights and all two as well. They have Atlanta this week. Should be a win. 1 o'clock game, West Coast team going there. I think it's closer than what it is, but I'll give them the edge there too as well and all. Number 6, got the Packers at 8-3-1. Mentioned them, they're facing the Bears and all too as well. Could be a great opportunity for them to win this game and get the top seed in the NFC after this week. If the Rams, fumble over themselves again and all too as well. But I don't like them. If we put teams on fraud alert, I would put them in that category and all. But their defense is solid enough that they could, they can make some noise if they're able to seed themselves in the playoffs and all too as well. I don't like them. Jordan Love, I'm a fan of. Just don't like the way he's looking this season and all too as well. So, but interesting defense and all. Defense has shown up all season. Even in the games that they lost against the Panthers and the Browns, the defense kept both teams under 20 points and all too as well. So it's more of a question about their offense and Jordan Love at this point. All big win against the Lions and all too as well. Jordan Love had four touchdowns, I should say, in that game and all too as well. So they definitely had a big game against the Lions. Can they continue? Can that offense just continue that going forward and all? There'll be in my opinion, there should be great opportunity against the Bears and all too as well. And then closing out at least the teams in the playoffs right now in the NFC. Got the San Francisco 49ers at number 7. They'll be in the bye. It looks like they're in the bye and all too as well. So it could be a good thing for them. Team that's dealt with some injuries and all too as well. Obviously some major injuries like Fred Warner and all too as well. But still sitting there at 9-4 and all too as well. And they'll have a bye week to rest things all up and all too as well. So for the teams on the bubble and all too as well, the teams that I like in the bubble, when you look at these 14, I think it just goes down to the Panthers. There's no one. There's really no one else, honestly. You can argue the NFC is probably a bit top heavy and all too as well. But you would think, as a guy who is, drumming the bell for those Detroit Lions and all too as well, you would think they have the outside chance of still making the playoffs and all. But I don't think so and all too as well. And I won't dog the Lions yet. Because do I really believe, do I really believe that the Bears can keep that number 1 seed type of energy going? No. Me, I still don't. Wasn't higher than coming into the season. I am impressed with what they're done. Ben Johnson's post-game-ish is pretty damn dope and all too as well, so we'll get some love from me. And that type of instance and all, but I can even even though they're up 9-3 and all, I can easily see the Bears losing some games and all, giving the Lions the chance of getting into playoffs and all. So I won't dog them so much like that they don't have a chance and all. But if I had to put my money on some team of getting into the playoffs, sitting in the bubble right now, going into Week 14, it's definitely those Dallas Cowboys and all too as well. I know people have seen that difference in Quinnen Williams and all too as well, and Logan Wilson too as well. Honestly, come on, can we not believe him coming from the Cincinnati Bengals? He can give the Cowboys some type of impact and all. And so far, from the outside looking in, because I'm not paying attention to the Cowboy games that deeply and all, I'll chill there. But you can't tell me that the Raider game at least that I paid attention to, Quinnen Williams, you can see a difference there and all too as well, bum rushing at least the middle of the O-line on all to a consistent basis, where again, if you have a player like that, you have to double team him and all, and makes guys like is it Dante Fowler that's over there, or is it Jadeveon Clowney? I'm not sure. Yeah, guys like coming back with all too as well, but makes other guys more. I think it is Fowler, honestly, too as well. But again, if you're able to double team one guy and all, which Micah Parsons was doing for the Cowboys defense for the past 4 to 5 years and all, does help your defense and all too as well, able to manipulate the offense to a degree, especially the O line. I'm talking about Quinnen Williams at least and all. So I think it's just kind of helped and all too as well. I brought up the Eagles game where they scored a quick 21 points and all. The Cowboys, the prior Cowboys defense in the early part of the season would have kept giving up points and all too as well, would have had no chance and all. Even in the Bears game in the rain, they couldn't stop Caleb Williams and all too as well in the close game, even though the Cowboys offense wasn't looking great. They couldn't keep that game close where Dak Prescott can maybe make some magic at the end, at least in all. Game against the Eagles, they were able to sustain that at least in all, and the Cowboys offense was able to get over the hill and able to get going and able to win that game at least in all. So I see a huge difference with their defense and all. They've been in games all year, especially in the Eagles in the Week 1 game, Panther game that they lost, the Packer game that they tied. They've been in games. It's just that their defense and even the Bears game too as well, when they didn't have CeeDee Lamb, the Bears were fumbling over themselves in that game from time to time until they finally figured it out and was able to blow them out at least. So if their defense is able to be a little bit less anemic and able to be closer to average at least and all too as well, they can really make some noise in my opinion in the NFC East and maybe take the division from the Eagles, where a division has never had a back-to-back winner and all too as well. So I think what the Eagles are sitting at 4 losses right now, I believe. 4 losses. And you got the Cowboys who got to win their games and all too as well. There is, Stephen A. Smith has a prevailing joke. The Cowboys will let you down once December and obviously January comes around at least and all. But because of the Eagles and the way they look, and when they don't look good, they have a propensity of flailing down this iteration of Howie Roseman's team at least and all. Figured that out last year. The year before was a little but the year prior to that too was more up, where they made the Super Bowl and ended up losing, in the close game to the Chiefs at least and all too as well. So, but this could be the year where they flail down. It's a division that hasn't had a back-to-back winner in what is it, 22, 23 years at least now, and I'm from an AFC East division that only knows back-to-back winners over the last 20 years at least and all too as well. X out the Dolphins, but maybe the Dolphins and the Jets too as well, because I think the Dolphins won it in '08 and all too as well. And the Jets made the playoffs in '09 and 10. No, they made the playoffs in 10 and 11, but through a wild card, I believe, and all too as well. So to all that at least and all too as well. So, but again, NFC East is always a division of parity at least and all too as well. We see signs that the Eagles could flail, and I've seen signs that the Cowboys can rise at least and all too as well. So we do got the Panthers there. Because of the Bucks are getting healthy is the reason why I won't go too deep into the Panthers making the playoffs at least and all. If the Bucks were a little bit more unhealthy going forward in the last quarter of the season, I would say the Panthers should be a little bit more, the Bucks should be a little bit more fearful of them. But since they're able to get healthy, I don't see how the Panthers get in the playoffs through a wild card too as well, honestly. Maybe it has to be, I feel like the Niners would have to fall in their face at least on two as well, because they have the more closer losses. I just don't see it happening. A team that's been unhealthy basically all season, they're sitting there at 9-4. It's hard to see them flailing now at this point when guys like Purdy are only going to get healthy. You get, like a guy like a bye week for CMC should be huge going forward, and all four of them too as well. Kittle too as well, I think, dealt with an injury and all too as well. The Brandon Ayuk news is kind of crazy at least and all too as well. So I thought they would get him back like week 15, week 16 of the season. So it'll be interesting, what they find out from there at least and all too as well. But that's basically what I got for the NFL picture and all too as well. My opinion where things going from week 14 going down and all too as well. I will not be taking like 2-week break at least and all too as well. Just a Thanksgiving week. Decided to go out east and all too as well. So I'll definitely be checking in on a week-in basis going forward towards the end of the season to see what happens. React and all that. Fun-ish at least and all too as well. So now we'll be switching over to the Boston Celtics, who are on themselves in a little bit of a run and all too as well. But let me do this again and all. If you guys are listening and watching on the YouTube side, please press on that subscribe, like, comment and all too as well to help support the podcast. And if you guys are listening on the podcast platform side, like Apple and Spotify, please add us to your library for any past, present, and future episodes, and leave us a rating to help support the podcast and all too as well. I'm getting that down and all too as well. But now to the last segment. Well, actually, I got one more segment after this one all too as well. Things are looking interesting for the Boston Red Sox and all too as well. They made themselves a little move throughout the the holiday week and all too as well. So I wanted to mention that real quick. And what I want moving forward once the winter meetings start next Sunday, I believe, or sometime this weekend. Let me just go that far, at least in all too as well. But my Boston Celtics are looking pretty damn good in all too as well. I wanted to bring up a stat about what they're doing and all, about having the second most wins against 500 teams to begin the season and all, only behind the Detroit Pistons at number 8. They got 7 of them. And look at these wins ever since the Brooklyn loss a couple Fridays back and all too as well. But we got a win against the Orlando Magic, a win against the Detroit Pistons, who are on a 13-game winning streak. I could have went to that game, and I decided not to and all too as well. Don't regret it, but would have been a cool game to go to and all too as well. I'm going to save the change in my pocket and all too as well. But won that game in the close game too as well. Kate Cunningham missed some free throws at the end to help cinch the game at least and all. But the fact they were in a game where they started bad and all too was only able to win that game, they were able to do it again too as well. But we'll bring that up and all too as well. Saturday night in a great close game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards makes a ridiculous shot to win that game at least and all too as well on the top of the key or the 3-point line at least and all too as well. But great game there and all too as well. Jaylen Brown, who's been awesome in this run and all too as well. I think he's averaging like 30 points a game in the last like 5 to 6 games and all too as well. Has been awesome. But someone who's been picking it up lately is Peyton Pritchard, who was huge in the back-to-back game against the Cleveland Cavaliers after that Minnesota game, and was able to drop 42 points in that game and have himself a great game in that game, and able to win that game, or help win that game for the Celtics and all too as well. And then last night, we got the Boston Celtics beating those New York Knicks and all too as well at home. And a pretty good game too as well. Another bad start for the season. All more about Jaylen Brown in my opinion with the turnovers and all too as well. But picked it up big time. Ended up dropping 42 points in that game. And they were able to go away and win that game against the Knicks and all too as well. Great shout outs to Jordan Walsh. Hugo Gonzalez, Josh Minot too as well with defense and extra effort type plays and all too as well. Derek White coming back right now with some clutch 3-pointers, as to saying, some clutch shots and all too as well. But now the C's are sitting at where are they sitting at right now? They're sitting at 12-9 at number. Oh, let me fix the screen up just a little bit. But I was sitting there at 12-9 in the Eastern Conference and all, at number 8 in the Eastern Conference and all, after a slow start, being at number 11 or 12 for most of the season and all, as I mentioned, and all with those wins and all, just the Minnesota loss in between there have won the last. What was the schedule like? I'm annoying with NAF sometimes, but they have won. I think it's the last 4 of the last 5, yeah. And imagine if they could have won that Brooklyn game and all too as well. But they took it for granted. Things happen and all in this league and all too as well. But just some huge wins against some tougher, some more talented teams that you can argue and all too as well. But they're obviously the effort and their defense capabilities, in my opinion. I think they're like sitting outside the top 10 in defensive rating. They show some great things on defense and all. I think obviously the Mir Okopa for the Boston Celtics is going to be rebounding and all too as well. So can they, I like the gang rebounding that they be into, at least on twos. That's what's going to take to get these rebounds and all. But there'll be certain instances where I just be going crazy about when they're not getting a rebound after a stop and all, because that first defensive stop has been great. It's just they give up those second chance opportunities too much, and that's why they kind of sit into trouble into these games, especially late in the quarters when you think they have the game won, and the game is right back into a clutch situation, at least on two as well. And that's what you can give them credit for too with these last 5 games, at least, and all their clutch numbers, at least their team clutch numbers weren't great in the last 5 minutes and all. They've won close games against the Detroit Pistons, close game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, fairly close game against the Knicks, at least, just based on the score. It was a close game. It was a good game. It wasn't close, but Mikal Bridges just made it, was making it close, at least, and all. But even against the Orlando Magic too, as well, against a game before the Detroit Pistons and all, able to win a close game, at least, and all. So that's a great thing. You can look into it. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, first time being the number 1 guy, kind of had his struggles with it, just getting him the ball in last second situations and all, but kind of has gone better, just commanding and getting the ball and all. I feel like he's missing some guys in those type of scenarios. He had Hauser in the wing, on the wing at the 3-point line and all, and kind of missed him and all too as well. But I understand it. I get it. Let the man figure it out and all too as well. He's come this far, so let him go further with it and all too as well. But again, just looking great. Like I said, they're in the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference and all too as well. I'll run through the seedings and all too as well, since we're at the end of the first quarter of the season and all. But my pick to be the number 1 seed is sitting at number 1. Crazy, right? But the Detroit Pistons at 17-4. A team I'm surprised that's number 2 are the Toronto Raptors at 15-7. Had themselves a winning streak too as well throughout the last 2 weeks and all, until the last couple games and all. I think they came back and won their last game last night and all too as well. Not too surprising, but based on how they played in like the first 10 games of the season, but surprising overall to see the Miami Heat at number 4, or number 3, I should say, and have the Knicks number 4 at 13-7 and all. Well, the Heat are 14-7 and the Knicks are 13-7 and all. Magic, who are in the same position as the Boston Celtics earlier, like 10 games of the season and all, have jumped themselves into the number 5 seed at 13-8, and mostly without Paolo Banchero and all too as well. A team that has shown to win without Paolo, and I think Desmond Bane's probably been a big part of that too as well, honestly. The Cavs sitting there, they're kind of disappointing, but they've had their injuries and all too as well. So I'm not gonna say, I think it's pretty impressive where they're at, even not having their full talent, there. It's like last year, at least on the early part of the season. But they're sitting there at 13-9. The Hawks are a surprise team at number 7 without Trae Young, and still able to keep this pace up with Jalen Johnson. Dropped 41 points a couple games back and all too as well. Close triple-double, if I remember correctly, and all too as well. So looking like Cade Cunningham kind of, with Cade Cunningham kind of, with the flat top and all, the kind of aggressive play, driving down to the basket and all. Those both feature Jalen Johnson with more hops. But still, you know what I mean? Kind of look similar, light-skinned guys. You know what I mean? Look kind of similar and all. But looking awesome without Trae Young there and all. Now you got these Giannis news. We're going to get about them. Yeah, I should just wait. But like I mentioned, the Boston Celtics are number 8 and all. We got the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia 76ers, who have tapered down after their hot start and all too as well. They're at 11-9. I guess you can kind of argue the return of Paul George has ruined that team and all. But hey, That's just me talking and all too as well. Maxey had a great game, I think, last night. Dropped another 40-point game and all too as well, and helped them win a game and all too as well. But we got them at number 9. Bulls, after a hot start and all, now sitting at number 10. I guess their per usual place at least and all too as well. But their team is about to look very interesting and all too as well, because I think this news with Giannis, asking his way out of Milwaukee and all, even though I think we all knew it's kind of happening and all, but kind of more confirmed. We got Brian Windhorst on Cleveland TV, you got Shams on NBA today, and Brian Windhorst on NBA today, talking about how it's ready for. It looks like the Milwaukee Bucks are mulling offers, at least and all too as well, with their with Giannis's agent and all too as well, and the rumors saying that Milwaukee will send him to his destination place too as well, and figure out how to send him there and all too as well. So we got some news about to brew in the NBA and all. The reason why I say the Bulls may be interested in something like that too as well, because Anthony Davis has been rumored to be available and all too as well, with Dallas's situation and all too as well, with Nico getting fired and on the owner and people, not really into Anthony Davis, obviously, because he traded him for Luka Doncic and all too as well. So a situation, maybe he's in Chicago and that team, that could be a part of the Giannis trade and all, could be a 5-team trade, you know what I mean, and all. So things are moving in the NBA and all. We got December 15th around the corner, where the trades are going to start picking up and all too as well. I remember 2 years ago, as soon as December 15th hit, Pascal Siakam was traded to the Pacers and all. Then a year later, they're in the NBA Finals and all too as well. So the December 15th date is real, and we're as NBA fans, we're basically coming up on it too as well, honestly. But the rest of it, Hornets, Nets, Pacers, Wizards, whatever, and all too as well. But the Bucks are interesting at this point because Giannis asking for a trade and all. Obviously, the Knicks have been rumored. But the Knicks have obviously been rumored to get Giannis since the summer, at least and all too as well. I don't expect it, at least and all, but if he really wants to go there, that's where he's going to want to go and all. I wouldn't sleep on the Warriors. I wouldn't sleep on the Spurs either, to really, dive into the Giannis thing and all too as well. But I find it very interesting where he does go and all. Wemby and Giannis would be crazy for the league for the next 5 years and all, if that really happened and all too as well. So it's very interesting. This guy's going to be open for business and all. He is the Bucks. That's why I thought the Bucks could be a top 4, top 5 seed in the East at least and all. But if he doesn't want to be a part of the Bucks, they got no shot to do anything at least and all too as well. So very interesting how that thing is going to carry on and all. I'm pretty sure the news is going to start picking up on it on December 15th and all too as well, because that's when free agents that were signed this past off season are eligible to get moved and all. If I were the Bucks, I just trade everybody, and Miles Turner, it wouldn't be available to trade until that 15th date, because he was signed in the off season by the Bucks and all too as well. But that would be me. I would just sell out. I heard the Bucks have their own pick, get into the lottery and see what happens and all too as well. Maybe you can pull another Giannis for your franchise and all too as well. But that's where the Eastern Conference is sitting at least and all too as well. That's what the Boston Celtics are sitting in all. They're what are they, like 4 wins? Okay, 5 wins away from the 1 seed, so I won't get too excited about it. But 1 win away from the 4 seed and all too as well. 2 wins away from the 3rd seed. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes close on that too as well and all. But let me go to the Western Conference real quick. Got the OKC Thunder at 21-1 to start the season and all. Ridiculous. Even though they have been blessed with a great schedule to start the season and all, so fucking impressive that they're 21-1. So I won't be taking that away from them and all too as well. We got the Lakers at number 2 at 15-5. I feel like a team that's just trying to figure themselves out and also another impressive start for them. JJ Redick, another impressive start for him too as well. See how that carries on. LeBron James has been back. I'm not sure how great he looks, but he's back at least and all too as well. So we'll see how that continues. Got the Rockets at 13-5. Spurs at 14-6. Impressive without Wemby playing, without Castle playing. I just found that out from a buddy that I talked to on Twitter and all too as well. So surprised by that. That they're still sitting at top 4 with Wemby and Castle out, who I would argue are the 2 best players on the team based on their start this season and all too as well. Number 5, you got the Nuggets and all. Aaron Gordon's out, unfortunately, with another hamstring injury. So I feel like that's the reason why they kind of tapered down from their hot start and all too as well. The defensive numbers, from what I heard, have been terrible. From what I heard, this is probably on Brian Windhorst's podcast. 105 defensive rating with Aaron Gordon, and we're sitting close to a 116, 117 without him. Could be worse, and all too as well. So we'll see how long that takes. I wouldn't expect them to be back until 2026 of January, not late into 2026 or mid 2026 and all. But I would be surprised if he's back anytime before Christmas and all too as well. But they're sitting there at number 5. Timberwolves are sitting there at number 6 at 13-8. The Suns probably the big surprise of the Western Conference, because even though the Spurs are a surprise, you kind of expect it because 1B is supposed to be that guy at least and all. But the Suns, you thought you think a team that just kicked out Kevin Durant or traded Kevin Durant to be worse for it, and they're sitting there in a better position than they were with Kevin Durant, even in the early part of the season, because the Suns never looked good any time last season, too, as well. So interesting there how that will play out for the Suns and all. What's his name there? Dylan. What's his name there? Devin Booker got hurt with a groin injury and all too as well. So we'll see. We'll see how he's able to progress from that. Something that he maybe not be back until after Christmas and all too as well. But had themselves a big win against the Lakers and all. I think Dylan Brooks dropped 30 points or some shit like that against them too as well and all. So still able to keep the momentum and all. And a guy like Dylan Brooks, who should get a lot more credit for his NBA career and all. The Memphis Grizzlies, when he was there, they were good, top 4 team. Goes to Houston, top 2 team last year and all. And he's got the Suns, a team that I think most of us expected to be in the lottery, are sitting there at 13-9 and holding on to a 7th spot, unlike the Blazers, who are now sitting there at 10, who kind of looked good to start the season too as well. Even the Warriors, who are next at 11-11, they've kept a better pace than the Warriors and all too as well. Even with the Warriors veterans that they got at least and all too as well, they're still able to keep toe with the younger guys on their roster and all too as well. So quite impressive. I want to give the Suns some credit for still sitting at number 7 after a quarter of the season and all too as well. But like I mentioned, you got the Warriors at 8, the Grizzlies at 9. Wow. People tell me the West is so deep and all too as well. At 9-13, they're 9 at 2 as well. And then the Blazers at 8-13 have tapered off and all. The Jazz at 7-13 and all too as well. Now, a team like Dallas, this is what I'm going to find this Anthony Davis thing a little interesting and all, see what they do and all too as well. Because I don't think Dallas is done. This is why I'm making fun of the Grizzlies being number 9 at 9-13. The Dallas Mavericks are 2 wins away of finally putting themselves at least back in the top 10 of the Western Conference. And Cooper Flag is looking like what Cooper Flag was supposed to look and all too as well. I don't know if it was the last game, but the game prior where he dropped 35 points, the most by a rookie. I don't think it's all time, but probably since something at least and all too as well from what I heard and all too as well. So I do expect them to get back into the play-in scenario and see if they can play better. It's just curious to see what they do with Anthony Davis. Do they make an Anthony Davis move to stink and get into the lottery, or do they make an Anthony Davis move to try to get better and all too as well, try to find someone who can who can accentuate Cooper Flag's play a bit more and all, guard maybe, trade him and try to get LaMelo Ball maybe, you know what I mean? So it's interesting what they can do there and all. But I do expect Dallas to get back in the play-in and all, because I don't think the Grizzlies are better. The Blazers are interesting, but I don't think they're better and all. Jazz are cool, but for some reason they never get better and all too as well. We got Lauri Markkanen with a top usage rate, and they just don't seem to win games and all too as well. The Kings, the Clippers, and the Pelicans, you know what I mean? Sell if I were them at least and all too as well. So I just see the Mavericks so much better than those teams and all. I just think the slow start, putting Cooper Flag at the point guard position and all, obviously a mistake. Now they got Andrew Nembhard's brother playing there, and as I mentioned, Cooper Flag's stats have been so much better since then too as well, honestly. Had a big basket above Giannis Antetokounmpo and all. The Bucks ended up winning that game. I think it was a game winner by Giannis at least and all too as well. But still, he has shown out a bit more different when they've taken that point guard responsibility away from him too as well and all. So I kind of expect them to get the way the Orlando Magic and the Celtics look to start the season, and they're in the top 8. Both teams are in the top 8 scenario in the East and all. I kind of expect that from the Mavericks and all. The West is a bit top heavy, so I don't know if they can get into a top 6 scenario from this point. I kind of feel like who you see in your top 6 is going to kind of hold there. I'm not going to lie, honestly. It's going to take an injury and all too as well. Maybe the Warriors come back when Curry gets back at least and all. But yeah, what you see in your top 6, it may change from 2-6 at least and all. I don't think it's changing at 1 with OKC at least on 2 as well. But I think you kind of see your top 6 in the Western Conference. In the East, I don't think you have a clue yet. Still going to take still maybe another quarter or so to kind of figure it out and all 2 as well. But if the West can stay healthy, I think you see your top 6 teams at least in all 2 as well. The Suns can be very interesting if Devin Booker can come back and stay healthy and all. He's an MVP caliber player if he's healthy at least in all 2 as well. So we'll see. Obviously, we know about Steph Curry and all 2 as well. I just think the Mavs have enough talent to be in that top 10 scenario and all 2 as well. So that's what we're seeing out in the NBA with the first quarter of the season and all. Now, just wanted to bring up a Red Sox point real quick and all. I won't do this whole subscribe and all that ish too as well. Keep it. This is going to be short at least. But the Sox picked up Sonny Gray from the St. Louis Cardinals last Tuesday. I think it was last Tuesday. I'm trying to remember. Either Tuesday or Monday, at least, in the early part of the week and all. Solid arm. Not expecting him to be a number 2 guy for the team, at least, and all. Do expect him to be a number 3 guy. But I just wanted to mention, since we're going into the winter meetings this weekend and all, Joe Ryan is the name I need in the Red Sox uniform by the end of December and all, too, as well. Now, I would like it by the end of midweek, at least, and all, too, as well, the way they did the Garrett Crochet move to get from the White Sox and all, but I see that's their only thing that the Sox need and all. They will get their bats through free agency. I don't care who it is. It could be Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman, the Japanese cat, Murakami and all, Kyle Schruber, Bo Bichette and all. Surprise me. Do whatever you want. I think they're going to take care of that. But you need to find a way to get Joe Ryan in here with Garrett Crochet in that starting rotation and all too as well. That is my expectation. That is what I want. That is definitely plausible the way the Red Sox do business now. Let's go cheap. Let's spend high but low on these pitchers and all. They did with Garrett Crochet. You saw what Dylan Cease got, 210. They gave Garrett Crochet 175, and he's a 10 times better pitcher, at least right now, than Dylan Cease, at least and all. And hearing the stats about Dylan Cease, obviously he's pretty damn good too, honestly. But come on, it's Garrett Crochet and all. You're not going to give a guy 210, but a guy like Joe Ryan, $5 million of arbitration. If he shows out too, you can give him 150 and all too as well. This is their game plan and all. Give your bats high money for short years and all too as well. You got Pete Alonso, and I would prefer Pete Alonso because they need a right-handed bat and all too as well. But you got Kyle Schruber out there too as well. And who I had mentioned, Bo Bichette. And you can do some interesting things in the infield if you picked up Bo Bichette. I think it's unnecessary and all because I think if you can bring Bregman back and add a Pete Alonso, I think that's all you need. Roman Anthony, Trevor Story there in the middle of your lineup and all too as well. I kind of expect big things from Ceddanne Rafaela finally moving forward and all too as well. Not finally. I think it finally happens, at least on going forward and all as a bat and all too as well. So don't care about the bat situation. Bat situation always gets figured out in Boston. Need that Joe Ryan in Boston and all too as well. And that's my PSA to the Craig Breslows and all that to the world. I'm being funny there. But that's something I kind of expect and all. Kind of had that big momentum as an anticipation for the Sox offseason last year with Garrett Croquette. Like, I was so bad with it. I was calling him Garrett Croquette and all too as well. But I ended up figuring out it's Garrett Crochet and all too as well. And that felt like that's the move they needed to make last offseason because they made it clear in the trade deadline that they wanted them and all. No different what they did with Joe Ryan and all. We're all Sox fans that are on the X or on the social media got bamboozled by Fox Sports putting that thing about Joe Ryan and all. And when you hear the rumors and such, there were talks about the Sox going for Joe Ryan and all. And I don't care that they didn't do it because I wouldn't have seen Connolly early and a guy like that could have been part of the trade. And now you may fight to keep him and all and see what other prospects you may have to give up and all. I do expect one of the outfielders to go, unfortunately, to make a move like that. Maybe take what you get for a guy like Duran and flip it into a Joe Ryan and all too as well. That's something that I kind of expect. The rumors are kind of too loud for that. The rumors for Duran have been too loud for the past year or so too as well, thanks to the Padres and all too as well. So I definitely wanted to put that in there. Definitely with winter meetings coming up this weekend out in Florida for baseball at least and all too as well. That is my high anticipation for the Sox to pick up Joe Ryan. Similarly, how they picked up Garrett Croquette, the way I was pronouncing, but Garrett Crochet. Yeah, I'm losing my voice now. But the way they picked up Garrett Crochet in the offseason last year and all really built up the momentum of what they were able to do, at least making the playoffs for the first time in 2 seasons and all too as well. But as you can see, my voice is going out, so definitely going to cut it at that point and all. Where am I at? Do I have time? All right, 50 minutes, 50 minutes. The camera want to come back? Word, cool. So, again, if you guys are listening and watching on the YouTube side, please subscribe, like, and comment to help support the podcast and all, too, as well. And, again, if you guys are listening on the podcast side, like Apple and Spotify and all, please add us to your library to help, for any past, present, and future episodes, and leave us a rating and all, too, as well, to help support the podcast and all. But I'll be talking to you guys soon. Back from vacation and all. Hope this little nasally thing goes away over the next day or so too as well. And we'll be coming back to react to we'll be reacting to where the Haiti stands in the group and all, because that'll be happening Friday and all. Be coming in next week and all too as well. I made this PSA for Joe Ryan, so let's see if there's any type of rumors getting closer to that. And then we'll check in on the Celtics and the Patriots and all. Patriots will be on the bye week, so I guess we won't be checking up on them. We'll be previewing their next game and all. And we'll see where the Celtics are at. We got a big game against the Lakers on Friday. Got a little game without Jaylen Brown against the Washington Wizards and all. We'll see if they learned their lesson from the Brooklyn Nets and all too as well. But a big game against the Lakers on Friday, and the rivalry game on Amazon Prime and all too as well. So it should be interesting how the C's look after all that going into next week and all too as well. But as you can hear, my voice is giving out on me. I'll let you guys go.